Good afternoon, Crime Crunchies. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am your host, Courtney C., a 27-year veteran of the media, and I'm so happy to now be able to bring you Crime Crunchies. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday afternoon. I am on a new mic. I upgraded. Please let me know if you can hear me. I think you can. Everything looks like it's good, but I'm just checking. Mic check, mic check. Afternoon. Okay, so I woke up this morning. Again, I do a lot of thinking in the middle of the night, and I woke up this morning around 6 a.m. and I had watched Thornbridge X Unfiltered last night with Dr. Severs and the blood spatter. And I'm sure a lot of you were in that watching that show live as well, or in replay crew. And I just kind of got to thinking, just another thing that isn't adding up, because Dr. Severs, as a little recap on the blood spatter, that, and first of all, please let me know if you guys can hear me, because again, this is a new mic, and if someone can just do thumbs up or yes or whatever, and there is a bit of a delay in my chat, that would be awesome. I have not properly tested in a live. So good afternoon again. All right. So I am, oh, good. Woo, thank you. Okay. I was freaking out for a minute. Thanks, everybody. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So Dr. Severs last night, as a recap, it took a minute for her to get there because she wanted to be very, very careful. She's very smart, very intelligent, very on it. Did not want to guesstimate on anything. Okay. But she was on for a full 2 hours. And in the end, I think that she'd spent enough looking and analyzing and talking through it and answering Jen and Glenn's questions that she was able to pretty much come to the conclusion that there's not a lot of blood, considering Nancy is a bleeder. Okay. If it's just somebody walking out and doing some, plant pulling weeds or whatever. Oh my gosh, Alpha's here. Yay, Alpha. Yay. We've been worried about you. We've missed you so much. Alpha, Alpha, Alpha. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, folks, but we have been missing one of our crunchies. So good afternoon. Woo. Okay, great. So happy to see you here. Everyone was missing you. So, okay. So, not a lot of blood. If you're going out and you're pulling weeds, not a lot of blood. Okay. Or actually, I take that back. She thought that is a considerable amount of blood if you're just going out and you scratch your finger, you've cut your finger, and so an accident happened. But when you're thinking about somebody coming out of the front door, having been hit and has been on blood thinners, that is not a lot of blood. And she said, Dr. Severs said herself, that she can create that blood spatter any day of the week. Any day of the week. And she said that she uses a pipette. I need to look that up and see what a pipette is, but she says it's about the same, size as a, see, the train left the station already. The, the thing with the needle, the squirt. I'm just going to call it the squirter. Okay. Thank you for the jewel, Sherry Berry Bling Bling. So it's going to be a little medicine dropper. Okay. And she said that she can recreate syringe. Thank you so much, Kitty. Thanks, everybody. A syringe. A pipette has about the same amount of blood as a syringe, and that amount of blood could easily be done. You don't need a lot of blood for what was seen there with the spatter. And she said it can be recreated very easy. She does it all day long, can do it in her sleep, and I'm paraphrasing. Okay. She thought that it definitely there's something incomplete about that scene because there's only blood on a few of the tiles, and that there was nothing on the right side of the tiles. And so she thought, well, maybe there was something covering that. She thought that maybe something had been removed from the scene because it looked very, very, very incomplete. And the absence of hand marks, swipe marks, step marks, clothing being dragged through, and then even some of the shrubbery plants that were on top of the blood. She thought that maybe if the plant was there when it was wet, the plant could have blown and created transfer. But either way, she agreed by the end of the 2 hours that it does not look right, considering the state of Nancy on blood thinners, and just something's not right. It could totally be staged. Okay. And that's kind of where we've all thought about, did Nancy even make it home that night? And we just don't know. And this is another thing that is pointing out the fact that it could easily be staged. We've got people who have analyzed, like Adam and Mike over on Patriot Pride. They did their own blood spatter analysis, and with those cameras, you can't necessarily see the blood on the ground. It does look like porch guy is walking around something. So that whole thing isn't adding up. But when I got to thinking about that, I realized that I've fallen into this, and I'm not going to call it a trap, but remember when we all heard Savannah in her Hoda interview, and we've gone through and we've analyzed it, other channels have analyzed it. So we're all pretty familiar with Savannah saying that, this monster came, I'm paraphrasing, took her mother from her bed in her pajamas with no shoes. Okay. Sounds very definitive that, okay, it sounds like she's in the know and knows what happened, to the effect that she knows she was definitely in her pajamas, which would make sense, but that she had no shoes. Okay. Very clear. She had no shoes. And I got to thinking this morning, did she see video? Is there video of porch guy taking Nancy out the front door, and they haven't shared that because it would be too traumatic for us to see that, which it would be disturbing. Okay. But again, if it meant that we could get more info on porch guy, it might be helpful. Maybe just black out Nancy. But then I caught myself when I literally sat up straight in bed, and I'm like, wait a minute. There cannot be video of Nancy leaving her house because supposedly porch guy had come and taken the camera down by that time. There was no camera when Nancy supposedly left the house. Think about it. 1:47, porch guy is seen coming up to the porch, taking his time, messing around with the Nest camera, going back, getting the shrubs, holding the shrubs up, and then he takes the Nest camera down. That's the end of the camera. The camera could not have seen Nancy leave the front door. The camera could not have seen her in her bare feet, in her pajamas. And that makes me believe that we're not using, we need to be using critical thinking here. There's no way Savannah could have known that she left the house in her pajamas with no shoes on at all. It's not true. And there is no additional video of Nancy being seen leaving the house because the camera was gone by then. Hey, good afternoon, Lisa. Good afternoon. I'd like everybody to say hello and welcome to our beautiful mod, Lisa at Crime After Dark HQ. Check out her channel on YouTube at Crime After Dark HQ and give her a sub. And also down below in the description is a link to buy her a coffee. She does a lot of work. She doesn't mess around. We all know she's a very serious lady. And that also reminds me tonight, I am so close to 15,000 subs. If we can get to 15,000 subs, may not happen tonight, but when it does happen, I'm going to be doing a random drawing of people who are in the chat. And I'm going to be giving away 5 $10 Amazon gift cards. It's just something I can email to you. I don't need your address, your name, or anything like that. Sorry, I have allergies. So super close. And then when I get to 20, I'll do 5. And then when I get to 25, it's as we go. I do like doing giveaways. It's fun. So if you have not subscribed, this is a great time to do it because we are in the window. We can reach 15,000. Maybe today. I don't know. Are you guys all subscribed? Thank you, Carol, for the jewels. Bling, bling. Thank you for the flower. Just makes it more fun. Okay, so cameras in the house. Let's talk about the other cameras. Let's talk about the other cameras. Because this is, again, where nothing adds up conveniently. So we know that the camera on the front could not have caught beautiful Nancy being taken out of her home, bleeding in a jam with no shoes on. Cameras in the house. What's up with the cameras in the house? We've never heard anybody talk about the cameras in the house. We haven't heard anybody say that they were able to retrieve any video from the cameras in the house, have we? You know, the only thing we've ever heard about cameras was on one of the 911 calls that Juanita Adame had gotten. And you guys can go watch the episode either from Juanita or Jen on Thornbridge X Unfiltered. And they go through all of those. One of the portions of a 911 or dispatch, these are dispatch calls. Sorry, I apologize. We don't have 911 calls. The dispatch call specifically states family does not have access to cameras, but they have access to the phone. Isn't that convenient? They don't have access to the cameras. Interesting. So the caregivers of the 84-year-old do not have access to any of the cameras inside, outside, up in the sky, on the ground. The caregivers do not have access to the cameras. Okay. They have access to her phone, which of course makes sense that they would have access to her phone. And again, with the camera on the front porch being pulled down and completely destroyed and knowing there's no subscription, that video of Porch Guy was never supposed to be found. And how long was there no subscription for? Was there a subscription at any point? Apparently she wanted to watch wildlife, right? Is that something we've heard, that maybe she wanted cameras? She'd put out a post on Nextdoor that people have shared that says, you know, what do you guys recommend, Ring or Nest? I want to watch wildlife, and I'm paraphrasing. So someone was going to have access to those cameras. All right. Why have it? And they probably do sell you subscriptions. Sometimes you will get like a free trial and maybe just not renew it. But is there maybe something weird with that maybe the subscription was let go a couple months ago? It'd be very interesting for somebody to look into that. Hi, Heidi. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. You are now a cool kid. Yes. Yes. So again, if my mom lives alone, my mom lived with me and she had a life alert and she lived with me and I work from home. My husband's retired military and she still had a life alert, because if we're running errands or we're picking up the kid or doing whatever, and she's alone even for 20 minutes, I want to make sure, and it happened, she would fall and she'd be okay. but somebody would call and say, "Are you okay?" And she'd say, "Yeah, I just fell. I'm okay. I can get up. I'm fine." We never had to have the police called. But if a woman is 84 living alone, why do they not have a life alert? And if she has a Ring camera and she wants to watch wildlife, without the subscription, regardless of the subscription, why would the caregivers not know how to access the cameras? Why have cameras inside the home if the caregivers can't access the cameras? I just think it's not adding up. And this was on the dispatch, where the dispatcher said that they had asked, "Do you have access to the cameras?" They said no. "Do you have access to her phone?" Yes. And whack abstracts. Did she always live alone? She's lived alone. She's lived in that house for, 50 years or 45 years or however long it's been. And her children have moved out. So she lives alone. She's been she had all of her mental capacities. So again, why would the caregivers not have access to the cameras? I think that's very, very convenient. And I think, again, without a subscription, there's just no world where somebody's going to go, "Okay, the FBI has a contact with Google and can pull strings, and Google is going to find the video or image from January 11th and also Porch Guy." But as far as Savannah saying that her mother was taken from her home in her pajamas with no shoes, I don't know where that came from. And we were all going with it because remember when Jen was interviewing Ramona from the oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be one of those days. I need to take memory pills. What is it, Geritol? The lady from Mexico, the search party. Okay. And she said that the person who'd called in 8 times said that when they had her, she was rolled in a blanket from like a hotel similar, and they had put her in a black tarp. And when they buried her, one of her slippers they missed and had fallen out. So there was a slipper on the outside of the grave, but it could have been Ramona, and it could have been washed away. And we were all going, "Okay, but we were told she didn't have shoes. So what's this slipper?" Well, now I'm questioning whether she did have shoes. Does it matter? Kind of, because this whole thing could be in Mexico. We were thinking, okay, well, that sounds bunk because she had no shoes. Savannah specifically said she had no shoes. But now there's no way. Again, I've been assuming, and I don't know who else has been assuming, but I figured Savannah may have seen a video of Nancy being taken out the front door. But there's no way. There's no video of Nancy leaving the front door. And again, going back to Dr. Severs from last night on TBX, the blood on the front porch, she said there's something not right. It's a lot of blood if it's just a regular person going out and cutting their finger badly, pulling weeds or on a thorn or something. But for someone who's on blood thinners with a head wound that gushes, it's not enough blood. And the thing is the way that there are some droplets that are going one way and some another. And it was hard for me to follow along because she's very technical. And so it's hard for me just being, me. It was hard for me to follow along and understand everything. But I know for a fact that she said that either something is missing from that scene that was taken, which I doubt, because I just don't think so. I can't think, what would it be? A stool? Was she sitting on a stool, bending over, expirating this stuff? I just think that I think that we're trying too hard if we think that there was something there that was removed. This guy had on a backpack, and of course he could have taken something from inside the house and put it on the front porch, but why? Isn't the idea for him to get out? What is he rearranging furniture? What is out there that's covering up those tiles? Kept Curious, thank you so much for becoming a member. You're now officially a cool kid. I love you. Here's a hug. Ooh, look at the hug. That's me hugging you. Thank you so much. I'm going to be checking my subscribers as we keep going. 729. All right. So we have 271 subscribers that we need. And if I get to 15,000 subs, I'm doing a giveaway in the chat for $5 gift cards. So if you're here and you have not subscribed, please subscribe and we can do the giveaway today. If not, it'll probably be Tuesday. I'm starting to take Mondays off. Sherry Berry, you've gifted 5 memberships. Oh, I love you. Oh, I just can't believe it when people even become members. Seriously, you guys, you're going to think I'm a dork. I cannot believe when people become members or do jewels or anything like. Thank you so much. Let's see who got them. Alpha Wolf, Miss Shivos Dragon, Jolene, String Theory, Vicky Hurley, and Whack Abstracts. All right. Thank you. You're so generous. I'm so excited. Look at us. Thank you so much. That is wonderful. I love giving things away. I like watching people. So Milady, if you'll know if you get one, because in the chat, it'll say your handle and then received a gift membership and your handle will be green. Yes, I'm so excited. Welcome. So make sure that you guys are subscribing, and the sooner we get to 15,000, the sooner we can do a giveaway. All right. I'm staying on topic, guys, because I don't want to bore everybody. So I'm staying on topic, especially for replay crew. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. Okay. So does not make sense, does not add up. Okay. Cannot have seen Miss Nancy leaving the house on the front porch because the camera was already gone. The blood is not adding up. It looks more staged than anything else. It's not adding up. And I'm telling you, Dr. Severs, she sounds like she knows her stuff. All right. Knows her stuff. Very, very respectful. Okay. Then if there are internal cameras, what about the cameras that are supposedly on the back of the backyard? There were some maybe on a roof or hanging down on the top. Why didn't he take those down? Why didn't he take those down? And then again, it doesn't add up that the caregiver is not going to have access to the cameras. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And I've got more. Okay, that's not the only thing that doesn't add up. Thank you for the jewels. Bing, bling, bing, bing. I have a whole list. All right. And then going on to, thank you. I was just looking at my notes. Crime After Dark. Thank you for the jewels. Bling, bling. This is going crazy, guys. I can't even talk. You guys are out of control today. Thank you, everybody. So we have a very high profile situation in Tucson that is still going on. And I would have to say this started on Wednesday, August 19th. Hi, Chris Talks Truth. They have lied to us from the beginning about everything. Have you thought about doing a panel sometime or call-in show? Hey, Chris, if you would like to call in, I'm happy to have you guys call in today. If anyone has any thoughts. I can do that anytime. If you've got something that you want to say, I'm open anytime. But yes, I think we're going to end up doing a panel, possibly. I don't know. We haven't finalized anything, but I would like to do a panel with Adam and Mike and Jen from TBX and myself. Thank you for the jewels, bling bling. So, and Miss Chivos Dragon is bringing up again the other thing that doesn't make sense. Again, the garage door. Come on. That was the number one bell that rang in my head and everybody else's head. We don't even have to talk about it. Let's just say the garage door, the 948 to the 950 does not compute. Doesn't add up. You know what does add up with that time is T driving from his house to her house, opening the garage door, running in, maybe taking her phone to the bedroom, leaving it there, plugging it in, moving around, and then leaving and shutting the door. That he could move in 2 minutes. And the idea that, we didn't know if she even made it back home definitely has a little bit more weight, because the only thing that was keeping me with her in the house when Porch Guy was there, the only thing linking in my mind was that pacemaker being disconnected. But between my research, other people's research, people chiming in and talking about their own loved ones, etc., she did not have to be with her phone in order for her pacemaker app to disconnect at 2:28 a.m. She could have been in another state, because typically a cardiologist is going to set a time for a daily upload from the pacemaker to the app at a time between, say, midnight and 3 a.m. And that's just a range that we've heard. Okay. And at 2:28, if her app was set to do a daily upload and she wasn't there for the handshake to happen between the app and her pacemaker, then it would go to a disconnect because it didn't sync. So there's no reason, there's no proof positive that she was in that house the time Porch Guy was there. She may not be in the house, which again doesn't add up. We have no idea if the last time anybody saw her is the Uber driver. And supposedly he's one of those that had the camera pointing back to the back seat. And law enforcement supposedly has seen that video of her riding in the car and has interviewed him and knows that the trip started at her home and ended at Annie and Tommaso's. But after that, they've got enough time, like I said, to have driven up to Sedona. And people are like, why Sedona? Well, Sedona has all those spiritual vortexes. If you are a spiritual person, maybe Wiccan, there's a lot of people who say that Sedona has a lot of energy. And that to me is what makes sense. If somebody was going to bury her in nature and had a spiritual, I'm not saying that that's where she's at, but that's where I would be looking. If you want to know my opinion, I would go up to Sedona. I would see if there were any cars in Sedona driving around some rural areas between maybe midnight 4 a.m.? Because we've got Annie with her weird poetry, and she's all about darkness and light. And if she's a spiritual being and she's, a flower child, whatever. Yes, Sedona is a wild goose chase, but it just comes to my mind because I have lived in Arizona. And if I was a spiritual person, if she's Wiccan and I'm Wiccan, that's where I would go. There might be a lot of other places to take her. Of course, the state's huge, but that just came to my mind. And they have enough time to get up to Sedona. Flagstaff, out of the area is basically what I'm saying. They have, because if she was dropped off at 5:30 p.m. and they're not back to the house until noon the next day. Oh my gosh, you guys, guess who's here? It's Naples Realtor Pilot. It's Crunchy Sissy. Say hi, Crunchy Sissy. Sissy used to live in Arizona too. We used to live in the same neighborhood. Hi, Crunchy Sissy. Crunchy Sissy's a little upset because Sissy has not been following the story like we do. And it is true that the last time she came in, she asked a question and I said, wow, tell me you're not following the Nancy Guthrie case without telling me you're following the Nancy Guthrie case. And I said, everyone, shame her, shame her. And you guys were brilliant. And you yelled, shame, shame, shame. Well, now Sissy, we were laughing about it. Or she's like, don't shame me. Don't shame. Uh-oh, Sissy is here. Yeah. So I told her, please, everyone likes to say hi to Crunchy Sissy. Come on in. We're not going to shame you. I won't rile up the crowd. And if you have a question, feel free to ask the question and I won't ask people to shame you because you know what? And I told her this. The one time she has a good question, it could be the piece that falls into place. Oh, here comes Zosha. There goes Zosha. Okay. Yes. Sissy. I don't have a picture of her. I asked her to come on one of these days on camera. We'll see if she does. I said, I know she could just co-host. She can just sit there. She's been invited. Oh, you don't know. We're going to be nice to you, Crunchy Sissy. You don't need to tell. You already told about the bathtub. All right. So yeah, Wiccan people are not evil people. I would not even begin to suggest that. I think that spirituality and new age stuff can be very positive. And I just mentioned Sedona because I don't think that they're going to keep her in the area. This, it said she's buried in nature. And so knowing Arizona the way Crunchy Sissy and I do, having been all around it, there are beautiful parts of Arizona. The desert part is beautiful to some. Bisbee, Arizona is beautiful. Sedona is very spiritual, very, very spiritual. So, okay. So again, what isn't adding up is the fact that the garage door opening at 9:48 and closing at 9:50. We only know for a fact her last proof of life is the Uber driving her to A&T's about 5:30 p.m. After that, she doesn't have to have come home. And when we think about Porch Guy walking, as cool and calm as he is, it's very easy to think that he's cool and calm because He's just got a list of things to do. I got to rip this camera down. I got to open the back door. I got to, put the planners here. I got to do this with an Apple Watch. I need to do this. I need to, I've got this thing in my pocket to squirt this blood. And, I just think it's terribly convenient that on the dispatch call again, that A&T have no access to the cameras. What are these people doing that they don't have access to their mother's cameras? No life alert. I would be wanting to watch her cameras because guess what? If she's alone and she says, I'm hearing this noise out back. Okay, mom, let me check the cameras on my phone. If they're her caregivers, where's the care? I guess givers is what we do. So I started to talk a little bit about the latest situation in Tucson with the shooting of the Pima County Corrections Officer, soon to be Tucson Police Department, 23-year-old man, his fiance, his female partner, who's 31 weeks pregnant with child in the house. Thank God the child is okay, and the female is going to live, and her unborn baby is okay. Now, that happened Wednesday, August 19th, from this crew that's tooling around at 5:20 a.m. And as of, let's see, yesterday was the 22nd, probably the 21st. And I wasn't following it that closely because, again, I'm still in Nancy Guthrie land, but my brain started looking at it like, okay, what's going on here? Because, again, all of the homicide cops that were on Nancy are now, there's a blue alert. I mean, they're going to put every resource on one of their own, which this guy was one of their own. They mean business. But then you see Nanos coming out, and I don't want to give him a compliment, you guys. That's the last thing I want to do. But he sounded like he actually had real information. He had a meeting or a press conference, which is odd to begin with. They had identified a car. They somehow, I don't know if they had witnesses, but they had cameras because they were able to pull up Shell gas station footage. They had the guys walking into the Shell. They call him Shell guy. They had the guy that's balding with the beard walking in, and then the guy behind him that's now been arrested. So how is it that Nanos all of a sudden, what did he stay at that's what it was. Nano stayed at a Holiday Inn, and he got really smart, like those commercials where they're like, no, I just stayed at a Holiday Inn, and he got extra IQ points. Because all of a sudden, we're seeing Pima County's finest doing what they can do. All right, everybody, we're going to be cool. Everybody can do whatever they want. Everybody be cool. Let's all just get along. Yep. Okay. Just keeping an eye. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, y'all. Let's see where we are with subscribers. All right, 735. So we've got 265. Yeah, it'll probably be another day, but we're going to get there, guys. No, Lisa, you need to stay. Lisa, you're good. Everybody be nice to Lisa. She is our mod. She does a lot of work for us. Lisa, please let me know that you're still here. You are my deputy crunchy. Everyone be cool. Everybody respects everybody. Lisa, let me know that you're still here because you are my junior deputy. Okay. So, all right. There we go. No. Lisa, you're fine. Everyone needs to respect our mods. Everybody needs to respect each other. Honey, if you want to leave, I understand. I don't want you to do anything you're not comfortable with, but everybody needs to be respectful of each other and whatever they do. And especially Lisa, my mod. Let's be cool. But if you need to go, Lisa, I understand. I just want you to be happy. All right. I'm going to continue. And Lisa, I'll reach out to you later, Lisa, but we all need to be respectful of each other and not judge each other and be cool. Thank you, Warm Tortoise, for the jewels. Bling, bling. Okay. So I will get with you, Lisa, if you are being quiet, or hopefully you are okay. Okay. So again, let's not judge each other. There's no reason. Everybody can do whatever they want. Let's just chill. We all love each other. Let's be cool. Okay. So again, I feel like Nanos looked like he was in control. They used the technology. They've got videos of people out there. This is our man. This is our man. And it's helpful because they found not Aaron Rodgers. They found Santiago Rogers. Let me share my screen. Boop. Because here he is, and I will zoom in a little bit. Here he is during his arraignment. And this is not a good guy. I pulled up he's got quite the resume, shall we say, of being in trouble. And he is married. I actually pulled up his background and found that he is married. His spouse only has a couple speeding tickets. And now her husband is in jail for murder. But look at this. Wouldn't this have been nice to get on Porch Guy? Look, they've got this guy walking on the sidewalk. Why haven't we seen anything like this? They've got a car. They've gotten the car. The car has been impounded. We have Alex James Barnett, Santiago Jorge Rogers, second unidentified suspect, and this guy located, no arrest made. We've got 4 people within days. We've got Heights. We've got features. Have not seen anything like this in 6 months. We've got public assisted needed from the sheriff. Nothing like this coming from them on Nancy. Nothing. And all these guys have a rap sheet. And this is this guy's mugshot. This is him right here in the lower right. This is his mugshot. This guy has a mugshot. This guy's got a ton of mugshots. We've got this surveillance, 10:50 a.m. on August 19th. In this parking. So you're telling me that they don't have anything like this in 6 months. They don't have any. This is Sheriff Nanos. You guys, they're looking through hundreds of thousands of hours of video. They've got thousands of cars between 2 and 3 a.m. There's just no way they can find this guy, okay? There's no way. There's too many. This is dated August 20th, 10:14 p.m. So in 36 hours, they've got video image of all of these guys here, August 20th at 10:18. In 36 hours, they've got this guy walking and picking his nose. They've got this guy walking and picking his butt, apparently. They've got a car. There he's wiping his snot. This guy, he's going to come. Oh, he's still picking his butt. Maybe he has an itchy butt. Here he comes. He's going to itch his butt. My butt is so itchy. Oh, my underwear is riding at my crack. Okay, there he's still got his hand in his butt. And it looks like he's right-handed. Okay. 36 hours. This guy, as of yesterday, is already in jail. He's either strung out and going through withdrawal, or he's cold. And I certainly hope he's not chilly. He's got a family. He has parents. He has a wife. And, you know, all of his rap sheet goes on and on and on and on. And it has led to him killing or being involved in the killing of a Pima County corrections agent and a woman who's 31 weeks pregnant. And look at this. Here we've got inmate info. Well, so it looks like somebody created this. Look at this is his rap sheet. This is Jorge's rap sheet. This is the pride of the Rogers family right here. All of these, lots of drugs, criminal shoplifting. Thank you, Baroness, for the jewels. Bling, bling. And it has unfortunately led, and it looked like he didn't have a charge since 2022, but now he is. We've got, oh my God, we've got all of these things. Look, we've got an arrest one now. Butterflies. Thank you for the jewels. Bling, bling. "39-year-old Santiago Jorge Rogers was arrested without incident." They've got a car. Oh my gosh, butterflies. Thank you for the jewels again. Bling, bling. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And they found him in a hotel. Isn't that interesting? And again, I mean, I'm not spending so much time on this because it's happening And of course, I care about these people that he's ruined. But my problem is that wouldn't it have been nice if all of this had happened with Nancy? I mean, this looks like, I mean, we've got people already analyzing these people with porch guy. I don't think these guys are porch guy. Again, I think the if there's any meat on this bone of them getting these people, it's because they're a bunch of scumbags and they may know something about Nancy Guthrie because scumbags hang around with scumbags. Thank you for the jewels, butterflies. Bling, bling. Thank you for the jewels, Lydia. Bling, bling. You guys are it's like a slot machine in here. Thank you so much. So I do not understand. I will get with Lisa. So here's the deal. Lisa has a channel. She used to have a channel where she did tarot cards. And here's my point. You may not agree with somebody doing tarot cards, but I know Lisa's a good person and it doesn't matter. We don't judge each other. We all are cool. We all respect each other. We're all crunchies in here. When we're all in here, we're just all crunchies. And I love Lisa. I could not do this without Lisa. So we're going to be cool with Lisa. Thank you for the jewels, CGI or CGJ, bling bling. I will get with Lisa. And yeah, I don't think that these guys are porch guy. But what I'm hoping is now that they're dumping their phones, that maybe they'll learn something. But my main complaint about how all of this does not add up is, and again, a lot of what I've learned is it's not what you hear, it's what you don't hear. Okay, like in Derek Halella's paperwork, we didn't hear how Derek Halella identified Annie and Tommaso. We didn't hear what sites he was searching, what keywords he was using. We didn't hear how he was able to access their information, what time, what he was doing. There's no evidence building up, providing any background of Derek Halella at all. But we didn't hear anything from Nanos like this. We didn't get anything. And let me remind you, we didn't get anything till February 10th when we saw the video of Porch Guy. And that wasn't even from Nanos. That was from the FBI. Thank you for the jewels, bling, bling, Joy. Thank you so much. So what is the benefit? Or is there a there? Why Nanos didn't put anything out? I mean, they have all kinds of cameras. They've got a camera of this guy walking. Who the heck is this guy? Maybe he's involved, maybe he isn't. The point is they've got a video of this guy walking away. Where it's all the video surveillance and cars? You know they've got it. If they've got it, where is it? Why aren't they showing it to us? Are they not showing it to us because there's a reason? Could we think of a couple reasons why maybe they wouldn't put this out? Is it something like the people involved, maybe? Are they trying to keep people Netflix and chill? Because again, if it is an inner circle and their DNA has every right to be in that house, in that car, here, there, everywhere, there is a very difficult case that they may have to put forth. If there's no body and people were smart enough to maybe have an older vehicle that doesn't have a brain, maybe, and like we've talked about, why did it take a year or 8 months for David to get arrested for unaliving that girl? And Alex Murdaugh took them forever to get enough evidence on him. So while we're being impatient, it's not adding up, guys. It doesn't add up. That Pima County, and my point is, and yes, you're right. No, what my point is Pima County obviously is very good at what they do. They obviously aren't bumbling idiots. They can put a case together. Hence, they've got these guys. My point is, why does it feel like they're so bumbling with Nancy's? And I feel like there's a reason that they're not. And it could be because of certain people involved. And maybe I didn't do a good enough job explaining it. And I'm dragging it out and being too long. Thank you for the jewels, bling bling. Yeah. And then some of the other things that are not adding up. I mean, I could probably spend 3 more hours talking about things that aren't adding up. The blood on the front porch, the camera being gone, the cameras around the house in the back that were left up that could be recording things. Okay. Only the lights, the floodlights in the back were removed and not any of the floodlights in the front. Okay, that doesn't add up. The garage door going up and closing in 2 minutes doesn't add up. We know that the pacemaker didn't necessarily have to be near that phone for it to disconnect. That doesn't add up. The creepy poetry, the ransom note number 2 that appears to have the same type of writing as someone that we all know. And again, is it because the writer of ransom note number 1 was under the microscope that they were not available to write note number 2? And as we went through the other day when we were analyzing the writing styles, that we decided the author of note number 1 could not have written note number 2, and the writer of note number 2 could not have written note number 1, and note number 1 writer could not have written the creepy poetry card at the memorial, and the creepy card at the memorial writer could not have written note number 1. But note number 2 could have written creepy card at the memorial, and creepy card at the memorial could have written note number 2. So it doesn't add up. And hearing Dr. Sievers last night look at the blood and say, this doesn't look right. If you notice that all the other people who come on these shows that are blood spatter experts, I've got someone unhappy that just came home. Any experts that have commented on the blood spatter, I mean, we've even got Jim Clemente saying that he believes there's only one person involved. And it's like, why are these people going on and people are analyzing the blood? But no one has said what Dr. Sievers has said, and that is that it doesn't look right. It looks incomplete, and that it doesn't look like there's enough blood. No one has said that but Dr. Sievers. So I have to wonder if all these other pundits that come on and talk about the blood don't talk about the family like we do here on YouTube. Is there a reason? I haven't heard anyone say that the blood doesn't look like enough until we heard Dr. Sievers. So, is there anybody who would like to come on and talk? I know, Chris, you mentioned a call-in show. I'm happy to do a call-in show. I've had one call-in show, and I had Lisa who came on, and we chatted. But if somebody does have something to say, you guys are more than welcome to come on anytime. Just say, hey, can I get a link? Let's see. Hi, Paula. Paula says, enough blood for what? So Dr. Sievers on Thornbridge X last night said that considering she is on blood thinners, the amount of blood on the front porch is not enough for what she would have bled. With the type of blood spatter, it looked like she would have expirated it out her mouth. And being on blood thinners and having it come from your head is going to be a lot more blood. And there would also be proof of, and if she's that close, she would be on her hands and knees. There would be either blood going on her hands, so there'd be a handprint, there'd be a smudge, a wipe, a knee cloth, something going through. So I'm just very suspicious that seeing how Pima County has been so on top of these guys that killed this corrections officer and how much information they were able to put out, it shows that they are competent. It shows they are competent. And Nanos actually sounded somewhat like in control. And it didn't sound like word salad. And he actually held a press conference and again sounded competent. It isn't right. Something's not right. It isn't adding up. All righty. Well, I thank you guys for joining me here today. I will most likely be back Tuesday. Hoping to get a simulcast with Boomer. Thank you, everybody, for the new members. Thank you for the gifting of the memberships. Thank you for all the jewels. Thank you. I think I might have missed something. I missed something, didn't I? Butterflies. I did miss this. Thank you so much for the $2.79 from Butterflies. Nanos has a problem with authority, i.e. senator. Yes, I think he's vying for some sort of office. Thank you so much, and I apologize for missing this. Thank you so much. Yes, I love all of you. Let me see where we are at. See where we are at with our subscribers. All right, so we're 260 subscribers away. Just really quick, in 200, when I get to 15,000 subs, I'm going to do a random giveaway during a live of $5, $10 Amazon gift cards. You just need to email me. I don't need your name. I don't need your address. I just get your email and I email it right back to you. Super fun. All right. Well, I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. Oh, we've got a new member. What are you doing, you crazy girl? Thanks so much, Joy. You're a cool kid now. I love it. All right. Well, I will catch you guys on the flip side. And as usual, toodaloo. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.